Hello, good morning. At the time of recording this, it's Monday morning. It's number 49 of 365 days of consecutive videos or lives. And today, I'm pleased to say I am coming to you live. Once again, I'll always tell you when I'm not. And today, I wanted to jump straight in with a topic that has increasingly come across my awareness and one of the things that clients worry about the most almost. So shoehorning for sales and why not to do it basically. So here's where this topic came about, and you might be even asking, well, what is shoehorning? So this came about for those of you, you may be in business or you might not be in business, but many of you will have received unsolicited direct messages, private messages, DMs, however you want to call it. And it's a little bit of a different level to cold calling. For some people, their business model thrives in cold calling. And for a lot of people that go down that route, generally speaking, they know what they're doing and they know how to do it well for their audience. But this is not shoehorning. Shoehorning is when somebody either sends you a private message telling you why you should buy their stuff, all about their business, and they actually don't know anything about yours or the business that you work in. Shoehorning is when you share something, usually online, usually on social media, and somebody decides to respond with something like, "Hello, my name's Jenny, and I notice that you have issues with A, B, or C. And did you know that my program, full name of program, usually where you can find it, can be found here, blah, 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 blah." I've seen a few incidents of this. I've received a few instances of this as well over the last few weeks even. And one of the things, the good news about all of this is, if you are regularly finding that you are being shoehorned, I want to give you a quick reframe. Congratulations. This is a round of applause. Okay, I'll get my code. But congratulations. This means that your visibility is or has increased. Okay, so it's either increasing or has increased, because what tends to happen is the difference between cold calling and shoehorning is shoehorning, people tend to work on like opportunist type things. Oh, there's someone I can see. Or, oh, they've got a big audience. Or, oh, they post regularly. Oh, they must be doing really well. So I'm going to just jump on the back of the bandwagon. Now, there's two ways that shoehorners operate. They either target you directly. In fact, there's three ways. They either target you directly, they either target your followers and people that interact with you directly, and three is they do both. Now, most of them will do it privately. They'll send you a message, but many others will basically do it under comments. I've seen a couple, even in the last few weeks, where one particular person had shared something really brilliant, really great, and is likely to be the key decision maker when it comes to buying. And this person took the opportunity to pitch their products and their services in the comments on beneath. Underneath, an amalgamation of the two. That's one for David Sterling, who is definitely not a shoehorner. But David Sterling, I mentioned him particularly because he works with Thai doctors to help with their communication, but he also actually works with people who have English as a foreign language to be able to help them enhance their communication for professional purposes too. Really great guy. So go and check him out. David Sterling, or I think he's shown as David H. Sterling, I think now on LinkedIn, and Dave Sterling over on Facebook. So I digress. Let me go back to shoehorning. I wanted to talk today about this phenomenon of shoehorning, and I'm going to take you through a very brief process because we've only got a few minutes. I can't take you through the whole thing. But I'm going to take you through some reasons why people do it. I'm also going to explain or give you some food for thought, really, and some insights so that you don't continue to do this. Okay, so for this, I made some notes on my phone, and I'm actually going to go through them because this is going to be one of the most helpful ways. So, first of all, I'm not one for judgment or kind of publicly shaming people. So I feel a bit of a way even doing this video, because I feel like by talking about it and highlighting what they do, I am almost like judging them. I don't mean to be publicly shaming. If I was, I would actually show you screenshots of the many that I and others receive. So the first thing to understand is, because you might be a shoehorner, and it's interesting, a lot of the people that I work with who are afraid of being too in people's faces, or just a bit kind of curious about how they can strike the balance without being too much and then not showing up enough, they often worry about this. And one of the things that I have noticed over 14 years is the people that ask me most about how do I, tip the balance, how do I make sure I don't overdo it and overstep, are usually the people that will never ever overdo it and overstep. So if you've been a client of mine, if you're a current client of mine, and you've ever asked me that question, you'll know that I would have said this to you, but I want you to hear this. You are not overstepping. So why do people shoehorn? Why do they shoehorn their offers onto others? So the first thing, or the first reason, is usually in their background, and typically in their background, they've worked for a big brand. It could be a big brand that's well known, or just generally speaking, a big brand. So why would they be more susceptible to shoehorning? Well, the reason for this is, when you work for these bigger brands and bigger companies, you've got lots of like different departments to back you up. You've got the sales teams, you've got marketing, you've got various people in operations. So when you throw something out there, you can normally pass it over to somebody else to kind of finish off the sale, so to speak. And with a bigger brand, it's not the fact that they're big that makes a difference. They just act in different ways because they know their audience, they know their business model, and they know their credibility and who to be credible to. People who shoehorn have usually worked for one or more of these big brands, and they bring it over into their business. So when I started in 2010, I thought this is going to be easy. I've worked for companies like, back then it was the Abbey National, before it was Santander. I'd worked for big brands like Thomas Cook. I'd worked for very big and well-known companies. So within those companies, parts of my job had definitely been responsible for sales, not responsibility for the sales of the company, I hasten to add, but I usually had a target. And with those companies, I became accustomed to not only hitting the target, but succeeding the target. And a previous company before changed my target in a quarter 4 times because I kept hitting it and overreaching my target. And I thought this was a strange thing to do, because I thought, phew, now I've hit my target, I'm going to keep going so that my team members will succeed. We're a team. It's not just me and the team. But they kept raising it, and I kept hitting it, and then I'd exceed it, and then they'd raise it again. So I know how this works. So if you've worked for a big brand before, and you take their maybe not so consultative sales methods, but the sales method that they use, it's likely that you inadvertently may be a bit more prone to shoehorning. The second thing is, it's likely when you've worked for these bigger companies, you're trained to be a little bit more bullish in your sales. You're in a very competitive market in a very competitive industry. So you are more likely to push. And anytime you see the opportunity for a sale, you're going to dive in. Again, you've got all the structures behind you, the marketing department, the sales department, the operations department, and many other people in the background that can pick up the slack for you to bring that sale home and actually close it. So as a salesperson, yes, a sale's not a sale till the money's in the bank, but you are normally targeted to achieve X amount of, different things. And when you achieve those, there'll be some other process, normally an operational process that actually closes that sale, like properly closes the sale for you, but it will get counted as a sale. Other reasons why people do this is they're used to being in control. Now, this is a strange one, given that when you work for a bigger brand, there are so many other moving parts as well, or with a known brand, there are so many other moving parts. But basically, you're used to being able to control, I need more leads, I need to work on this, I need to contact this person, who's the best people to invite to our corporate box, whatever the thing is. So it's almost like a habit, it's habitual behavior, which for some people is harder to shake when they go into entrepreneurship, when they go into self-employment, when they become a founder of a company. Sometimes because they're looking after so many other people on their staff, it becomes a different, slightly different beast, and they tend to not be so bullish. But generally speaking, that's why it happens. And the fourth reason is it's an ego thing. It's an ego thing. In order to raise their credibility and raise their profile, people often assume, quite incorrectly, that if they are confident that they will get the sale, which is kind of true, but it's not only confidence in your own skin, but confidence in the thing you're selling. But actually, they equate credibility with arrogance, being professional with being in your face, consistency with being like chasing you up. And again, that's not necessarily the best way or the true way. So what they're actually trying to do, and forgive them if you have been bombarded by somebody who said, like, I actually had a message once from somebody, I laugh at this. They came into my inbox, and at least I didn't do it publicly, although I have had people do it publicly too. And they said, this thing that you're doing over here is rubbish. I'm really expert at this. I can help you. Here's everything that you're doing wrong. And bless them, they must have gone to a lot of time and attention and effort to, work out these things. I doubt it. I think they actually just ran it through something personally. But they went through the time and effort to bring it to my awareness, which is really great. But they don't know what my goals are. They don't know what my strategy is. They don't know whether I'm more organic on this particular thing or not. And what it does is it misses the mark. In fact, over the years, I've had so many people use this same approach, exactly the same wording, that I know somebody is teaching it somewhere. I've had somebody who's even approached me and forgotten to take the wording out of the template, the bit where it says thing that they do, they forgot to take that out, and that's what they posted, and that's what they've shared. So they want to do it because they want to bring awareness to what they do. Cha-ching. If you've ever done this or seen somebody do this, send them this video. Send them the link to this video. This is on LinkedIn, which is easily found. I'm Jenny Kovacs, the Queen of Being Seen on LinkedIn. You'll find it on YouTube. Again, easy to find because it's just Jenny Kovacs, at Jenny Kovacs, and you'll find my channel. Subscribe, And the other place you'll find it is on my Facebook public page, my business page, which is Jenny Kovacs, the Queen of Being Seen. Easy to be found, or to tag me in as at Visibility Vibe, like that up there, but without the S on the end. You'll find me there. I tried to change it to Visibility Vibes, but it wouldn't let me. So send them the link to this video so that they can watch it. And my hope is that, as well as highlighting who they are, what they do, and why they do it, that actually I can bring some perspective in a different way to do, because I want everyone to be successful. I don't want people to feel like they have to shoehorn. So they're trying to bring awareness to what they do. So that's why they do it. They're trying to seed the need in you. That's again why they do it. And also, when you have a bigger audience, it doesn't have to be gigantic, but it's usually a bigger audience than they do, which I find really interesting. When they do that, they're trying to pitch in public. So usually by talking about, or kind of piggybacking on something that you've posted and telling you allegedly all about the stuff they do, they also know that it will gain kind of traction from other people. So the last time this happened to me, the person actually sent me a private message. But there was a time, just a few months ago, actually, where somebody decided to do it on my YouTube channel and publicly post, this channel could be better if you did X, Y, Z. I thought that's a very interesting approach. And I clicked on the person out of curiosity to find that they had no subscribers, which to me was a really odd thing to do. I don't mind if people have got lower numbers because they're great at other things. You know, I have probably across all of social media now about 25,000 followers, subscribers, people that follow me, and my email list too. But I operate to help you to be visible. So for me, going viral, having a gazillion comments on everything I post isn't actually my goal. My goal is to help you to be seen, help you to be more visible, and help you to be confident and do it in your own skin. And if you look at any of my banners online, I like to help you do it without the cringeworthy connection associated. Why? Not because I shy away from cringe. I don't like it, but I don't shy away from it. It's because it's not effective. So, pen and paper time. Let's get clear for a moment. If you secretly deep down know that you've done this, you know, one of your friends on Facebook has said, oh, I've got a speech to do at my sister's wedding, and maybe you help people with their talks and their speeches or their presentations, and you said, I can help you with that in my program, Speaking Out Authentically, which is a genuine program, but it's not what I do on people's posts, especially not my friends. In my program, Speaking Out Authentically, I help you talk about what you can do when wedding nerve strikes, how to do a good best man's talk, you know, and blah, blah, blah. So don't do that. Don't do that. Here's something that you can do instead. So thing number one, get clarity. And in order to get clarity, you will need to ask yourself some questions. I'm going to ask you these questions. If you would like to share them publicly, I will do my level best to help you with them. But if you want to get a journal out, notepad out, pen and paper out, and scribble in them, then please do. Now, let me give you an example of what shoehorning would be. I do have a range of stationery. I have a range of made by Post-its, branded Post-it notes. I have a range of notebooks and more books to come. If I was to say to you, grab a notebook, and the best notebook that you could grab is the Visibility Vibes notebook found on Amazon just for $9.99, and you can buy it anywhere in the world. Just go to That is not a seed. That is a pitch. And there's nothing wrong with me doing that, but that's not what this is about. I promised you that I would talk about shoehorning for sales and why it matters, why it's important, kind of the do's and don'ts, if you like. So that's what I'm focused on. If you wanted to find out more, what usually happens with these live streams, you'll notice that they don't get thousands, hundreds and thousands of comments or likes. But what does happen is people will either send me a message, a private message, and say, this really resonated with me. How can I work with you? Or I'll get an email from somebody saying, I've checked out your website. I've seen some of the videos you've done, and you talked about this thing. Do you come and speak at companies? Yes, I do. You know, so there's those kinds of things that happen. What I want to do is I want to create interest in the work that I do, but I actually want to serve you. This is a free platform, and you get this service. I've got a whole system that goes into the depths of everything, as seen behind me. It's a 5-pillar system: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The clue's in the name. And we go deeper. Now, with some of my clients that I work with privately, there's only one element we might go deeper in. Others will go deeper in all of them. And some lovely clients I've worked with for a year's period, it means that I can go through all of them, take them through every step. So even when they're already great at a specific thing, I can then help them to enhance. So we go deeper to enhance what they're doing, building on their strengths, not necessarily looking at weaknesses. So pen and paper time. If you have ever shoehorned accidentally, inadvertently, on purpose, first clarity question is, does this really work for you? Like, does it? And I don't mean that you've done it 1,000 times and one person ended up, because you kind of nailed them in a corner, ended up working with you. I mean, does this really work? I'm reminded of somebody who came to me quite randomly through LinkedIn many years ago, and they said that they worked in sales. They were really great at sales and aspiring to bigger and better things. And they said that they were doing a presentation, and it felt like the presentation was going wrong, and they felt like their reputation was based on the company they worked for and who they knew. And people were a bit like, you know what, this is great, but no, thank you. And they felt frustrated. So they sent me a message and said, look, what can I do with this? We arranged something, hopped on a call, we had a conversation. And very quickly, from what they were sharing with me, I realized what was going on. And part of me being able to do that was by asking them questions so they could get clear on what their kind of end game was in terms of that. So thing number one, if you ever shoehorned, does this really work for you? So if you're looking to do it to grow your audience and it's growing your audience, then the answer is yes. If you're looking to do it to increase sales and interest in your business and it does that, then the answer is yes. But if it doesn't and you feel icky, frustrated, just like you're being too pushy, then the answer is no. And it's okay to say that, because then you now know where you can look to next. So that's question number one. Question number two, and this is really important. What led you to take this approach? Now, this is interesting. There is no right or wrong answer, actually. What led you to take the approach? So I think about the people that kind of like inbox and DM people and they get really annoyed about it. I think about the people who comment on other people's posts, people that sometimes, and quite obviously they don't know, and they pitch their business there and then. What led them to take this? Now, it could be somebody sees someone else do it and they think, oh, that's a good idea, I'm going to try it. They might check their profile, they look pretty successful, I'm going to go for it. In my ABC, which is audience, business, and credibility, all of which bring together the visibility sweet spot, which has you being visible like you, not like somebody else. This is really important. So it could be that you've seen someone else do it and you think it's working for them, I'm going to try it. It could be that you've been told to do it by someone, and even though it doesn't feel right, you still do it anyway. It could be 101 other reasons. I don't know. I just used to do it when I worked for X, Y, or Z. So no right or wrong, good or bad, but take a moment. If you're not a sort of notebook person, then get your phone out and open up a note and answer those questions. And if you're like, but Jenny, I'm in the middle of something, come back to this video, subscribe to wherever you're watching this, but come back to this video, save this video and come back and answer these questions specifically. Come back to around the sort of 20-minute mark and answer these questions for you, because it will make a difference and it will help with your sales for sure. Something that you might not know about me is my track record. When I teach sales in sales environments, I usually increase the close rates of, or help people to increase their close rates of their sales by anything up to about 40%. It depends on where they are on the scale. Okay, so ask yourself that question. And then the other question is, why are you doing it? So let me use an example of the person that I was talking about before without divulging. So does it really work for them? No, it didn't. It had them feeling really frustrated. And we know the feeling of frustration is not a great feeling when you're trying to sell a product or service, whether it's yours or whether it's somebody else's. What led them to take the approach? They actually said they have been doing it for years. They have, I want to say it without divulging their kind of like private stuff, but basically their family have been doing it for a long time, and their family were very well known in this particular industry, and they've seen lots of their family members do it, so they just thought, well, I'm going to do this. So that's what led them to take that approach. Why are they doing it though? They sat with this for a few seconds, they contemplated and said, I guess it's presumed because of the family history that I will be the same as them. But when I walk into a room, I have to prove myself. I have to do more. I have to be more. And they hadn't been shown any other way. They said, I know that sounds strange, But I liked this because it meant that they then knew where they were in this and then how I could help them too. So from those kind of 3 questions, and there would be more if we were doing something else or you told me something else, but from those 3 questions, they were able to dive deep into what was going on for them, and this meant that I was then able to help them to do the smallest thing that would make the biggest difference to the results. And here's what happened, by the way. They went back, they took the new approach, which worked perfectly for them, the industry they were in, and what they were trying to achieve too. They came back and they sent me a message to say, just to let you know, I basically ripped up the old sheet, took this approach, and this is what happened, which is great. The other thing that's happened is, in the time since that exchange, they have gone on to be promoted to possibly the most senior position that they could ever have been promoted to, which I love. And this is great because it meant that they demonstrated how to do the thing and then went on to do more. So answer those 3 questions. It exposes the gap. And when you expose the gap, it helps you know what needs doing next. And it stops you from shoehorning in a way that feels cringeworthy. Because let's face it, if deep down inside it feels pushy and you are going in and pushing for answers, pushing for sales, you might think that you're disguising it well, but the other person feels it too. Okay, so hopefully helpful. If there is someone else that you think might need to hear this, wherever you're watching this, do share this privately with them. Just share the link. If you prefer to share them the YouTube link, which everyone kind of gets, it's easy to do. Just go over to YouTube, put in @Jenny Kovacs, and you'll find this channel. Have a look for this video and then just send them the link. If you can't find it under the videos, you'll find it under the live streams. YouTube can sometimes do that. So I'm really excited because I'm going to let you know that tomorrow, so for the next 3 days, I'm going to start a trilogy. We're going to talk about anxiety, burnout, and overwhelm and how they mix into being visible. I'm going to share some little nuggets for you, just in case you've experienced this, which most of us have in some way, shape, or form. I'm really excited. So come back and have a look on YouTube, on LinkedIn, or on my Facebook page. I literally cannot wait to share this with you. It's something that I don't normally share this publicly. It's taken as part of the Superhuman program that I share to a lot of sort of bigger organizations where their people want more motivation or maybe feel a little bit stressed about it too. So if you'd like to join in, please do. It will be same time, 10 a.m. And if you go and see where I've already kind of given you a taste that it's on its way, then all you have to do is make a note of it in your calendar or use whatever the platform does. And when I go live tomorrow at 10, you'll be able to join in there too. Can't wait to see you. Come with questions if you've got them, and do say hello in the comments below too. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.